What's good, guys? Welcome to a new vlog. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys what it's truly like to own a supercar like the one behind me.
And we're not just gonna tell you guys the good stuff. We're gonna tell you guys the bad stuff, how much it costs, what it feels like, and so much more.
We're gonna get down into the numbers. It's gonna get juicy, so stick around. So we're gonna start with the 3 things that we love about this car, but later in the video, we're gonna talk about the things that we absolutely hate about the car and how much everything costs. So starting off with the first thing that we absolutely love about this car is the speed. If you guys know McLaren, they're pretty much faster than any other supercar out there.
Like this is faster than a Lambo.
Like this will beat a Huracan and maybe even like base model Aventadors. And this is like the baby McLaren. It's like one of the least horsepower ones you can get, but like a 720S and anything like that will completely destroy any Lambo.
So this is actually a McLaren 570S for those of you who don't know. And with McLaren, the number that comes after the name is actually the horsepower that the car has. So this car has about 570 horsepower.
Correct.
Second thing that we love about this car is the color and just the overall design. I feel like McLarens are just so freaking beautiful. Like I will pick this over a Lambo any day. It is absolutely amazing. There's so many little details and like things about this car. Like this is actually just like how do I explain this? Like it goes 3D. In, like it's not just
black
color.
it's not just
exactly
paint.
It just feels like a really beautiful car.
Thing number 3 that we love about this car is the doors. The doors go up. Every time you lift the door when you're in public and you get out of the car, everyone just looks at you. Yeah. Everyone's like, whoa, like this is crazy.
It's a spaceship. And not just because the doors go up. The doors also have this mechanism where it kind of just like closes itself. And something else that's cool about the doors is you unlock it from this button down here. So it's like not visible. It's not a handle on the door or anything. It's just like a nice hidden little button.
Now, moving on to the things we hate. So this car is amazing, but there are things that we do not like about this car. Starting off with number 1, there is no storage in this car. The center console is literally like this wide. Let me just show you guys real quick. Check out the center console right here. That is 2 inches wide.
We can barely fit a pack of gum in there. And
there's no glove box, so that removes even more storage.
Exactly. So this is where you're supposed to put your phone and your little things. So there's
they give you these little like
little
pouches
pouch on the seat.
That's pretty much all they give you, and these like tiny little compartment in there. But you can't really fit much.
Exactly. So when I'm in there with my purse, my phone, all my stuff, everything just goes like between my feet because there's nowhere else to put it.
Yeah. We do have the frunk.
Compared to other supercars, this is actually pretty big. We went to see a Huracan the other day and it was half of this size. The thing that we hate about it is actually not something we hate. It just depends. It's attention. But attention can be a good or bad thing. So we obviously get a lot of good attention. People saying they love the car, people wanting to take pictures with it, which is amazing and we love that. However, it can also attract negative attention. So we have had one instance where we received negative attention with this car, and it was just this guy that was hating, saying it was a rental and that the car he actually owned was the Toyota behind him.
Yeah. Just being mean for no reason. But look, if I didn't want attention, I wouldn't have got this car, especially in this color. So that's not really a negative, but there is times where we're like, okay.
There is times where, for example, I'm picking my nose in the passenger seat and someone is recording us right next to me. So yeah.
The third and final thing that I don't like about this car is the sound. It sounds amazing, but I do wish it was louder. Like Lambos are super loud, super obnoxious. They have the pops and everything. This car is more quiet. It's like kind of like a silent killer. It's not as silent as like a Porsche or something like that, but it is pretty quiet. So sometimes people don't hear me coming. I will say though, I do have an aftermarket exhaust that can make this thing very, very loud. Let me know down in the comments if I should put it on. Okay, now let's get into some numbers. So I paid just over $160,000 for the car. I did pay that in cash, so I don't have a monthly payment. I also bought the car in Nashville, so I had to pay $1,700 to get it transferred from Tennessee to California.
The warranty on these cars is not cheap. Isaac has to pay $4,500 every year for warranty from McLaren.
You can go to a third-party company, but obviously I chose to go with McLaren because that's the best for my car. So I did buy the car used, obviously, to 2019. So when buying a used car, the car isn't gonna be 100% perfect. So when I first got it, I got it serviced at McLaren, and for parts and labor, I had to pay around $8,000.
But honestly, the car was in really, really good condition. We would never buy a car that's like a piece of shit, but you still have to get some work
It was
done.
just like little things. It wasn't like the engine had to get fixed or something like that. Like for example, one thing that I can say is the owner who had it previously put on the aftermarket exhaust exhaust that I have, but they didn't like put the heat shields back, so like some wires got like burned from the heat. Just like little things like that.
And then something else that they did during that service is an oil change. So it was included in the service.
Yes, there was like a lot of things that they did that was like not repairs, it was just like a normal service included.
But an oil change for a McLaren can cost you between $800 for the cheapest or up to $2,000.
Moving on to registering the vehicle. So if I would have got the car registered in California, it would have costed $14,000. But luckily, I have a business outside of state, so to register my vehicle, it was only $1,000.
Yeah, we saved a good amount of money right there. Registering luxury vehicles in California is expensive.
Yeah. Now moving on to insurance. Insurance honestly isn't that bad.
So we have a total of 4 cars, and total we pay $12,000 a year, so about $1,000 a month. So his car comes out to about $400 a month.
I thought it was gonna be a little worse.
I feel like it's pretty good, but I will say some companies will not insure a McLaren. So I was calling different companies, getting quotes, and one of the companies that wouldn't insure his car because it's a supercar was Progressive. I remember that. So Progressive.
And then now moving on to like the little things that you don't really have to do to your vehicle, but things that I choose to do. I get the McLaren detailed every month. I'm on a plan, so it's only $100 a month. He just comes once a month. And then gas, every time I go to the gas station, it's about $80. The reason why it's so cheap is because the gas tank on those cars is tiny, obviously to make it as light as possible, but you will be at the gas station more than you'll be at the gas station with your other cars. So $80 sounds cheap, but if you're there every other day, it adds up.
Yeah, it does. So as you can see here with our little toy model of Isaac's car, this is what his car would look like if it didn't have a wing. This is a stock McLaren. They do not come with a wing, but Isaac has an aftermarket wing on his car that cost about $5,000, but luckily it came with the car, so he didn't have to pay extra for it. The previous owner had already put it in, but $5,000 to put a wing on a car?
It's full carbon fiber.
Bruh. Still.
It's worth it.
Okay, so to end off the video, I actually have a question for you, baby. You've had this car for about 7 months now. What has been your favorite memory with your supercar?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think definitely showing my family and friends when I first got it, and then like when random kids just come up to me and they're like freaking out, and then I let them sit in it and they just like go crazy.
Yeah, that was really nice of you. He actually let like a group of 5 boys.
Nah, it was more than that, bro.
Yeah.
So we were at the store and we come out and there's literally like a group of like 7 kids just looking at the car.
As we're walking to the car, they start yelling, "Is this your car?" We're like, "Yeah."
I let them all sit in it. They like freaked out, took pictures and everything.
A kid literally made an edit of the car in the 20 minutes that he was there.
What was your favorite experience?
Oh, that's too hard for me. I don't know. I obviously love when people come up and like say things about the car, but I know my favorite experience, going to see it. We flew to Tennessee. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I actually surprised Isaac with the plane tickets to go see the car. He had been eyeing this car online. He really liked it. It was like the exact spec that he wanted. It was a good price, but he just was like, Tennessee's so far away, like I'm not gonna do all that. And I was like, nah, we gonna do all that. So we flew to Tennessee to see it, and just seeing his eyes light up and like really feel like he was happy with the car, and then making that choice. We went to the bank with the deposit, everything. Like that whole experience was probably my favorite.
I think we're gonna conclude that video there. I do wanna say before we leave that we wouldn't have this vehicle if it wasn't for all you guys supporting us for like the past 5 years. I wanna thank you guys so much for that. With that being said,
Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.